Welcome back to Studio 10. In the book, A Deal with God, a young woman is granted extra time on earth after losing her life at the hands of a drunk driver. Her ensuing life of love was inspired by real-life events of what could have been. And here with more are the author of that book, Michael Haden, along with Sharon Hall from Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Nice to see you both.
Thank you for having us.
So, Michael, I would guess for you, this was a cathartic experience just to sort of write through some of the anguish that you were going through. Can you talk about the circumstances?
Well, it was gut-wrenching.
Sure.
It took a few years just to be able to get my thoughts together, put the process together, and decide what kind of angle I wanted to take to write the book.
Your daughter was how old when she was killed by a drunk driver?
It was my daughter's best friend.
Your daughter's best friend?
They all played on the... I'm a youth soccer coach. I coach at FC Tampa in Town and Country, and these are girls that I coached.
What happened the night of her death?
It was between her freshman and sophomore year of college.
Okay.
She was on scholarship, and she was driving home from work. It was like about 10:48, I believe, and she was killed head-on by a drunk driver.
And this story that you've written is about, it's got romance in it, it's heartwarming, it's about what could have been, and it's also a tribute to her.
I did a little bit like Titanic. She died when she was so young, I couldn't write a 300-page biography. Mm-hmm. So her biography's in the book in the beginning, but I took a actual event, a real sad nonfiction event like Titanic, but I wrapped a fiction storyline around it. And the actual storyline's wonderful, and it lightens the story up a little bit so you're not crying the whole book.
And where did you get the idea for the storyline? It was just kind of sitting around talking, wasn't it? Or some of her friends sitting around?
The girls, when they graduated, there were 5 of them that were really tight, that were good friends on that team. Dina, the girl that was killed, was the team captain. So 4 of the 5 were together after they graduated, but of course there was a big hole. You know, Dina wasn't there, but the other 4, we were all talking about, you know, what if Dina was still here? What if, you know, because one of the girls was in a residency, she's becoming a doctor, one opened a big graphics design company. They were high-octane women.
So the girls who were Dina's friends and Dina's family, what's been their feedback about your story?
My daughter hasn't gotten out of chapter 2. I mean, it's a hard book if you really know what happened.
And Sharon, you also have a connection to a drunk driver taking the life of someone close to you. Tell us the circumstances there.
My oldest son, was killed in September of 2008 by a drunk driver. He was the passenger in the car with a young man who was impaired. So yes, I have a very personal connection. It's a very, he's right, it's very heart-wrenching. It's a very difficult journey for everybody. And there's such a ripple effect. This isn't something that happens to, you know, just the immediate family, right? It's the soccer team, it's the whole neighborhood, it's all the best friends, it's all the, you know, the church family, community. Everybody.
And of course, December is the Prevention for Drinking and Driving Month, but we should talk about this all year long. It doesn't, the more we talk about it and remind people and talk about the implications, the better it is, because the numbers are going down.
The numbers are going down, and we were very excited to be able to celebrate, you know, if we can say it that way, the number of drunk driving fatalities under 10,000 for the first time ever. But that still leaves 9,878 families devastated by the loss of somebody that they loved. And still love, because that love goes on when we've lost somebody.
What do you think needs to be done? Because obviously the message is getting out there, and it is, as we were saying, the numbers are going down. But what else do you think needs to be done to get it from 9,800 and some down to 0?
That's a wonderful question, and you know, there are multiple parts of that answer. The first thing that we want everybody to know is to have a good time, enjoy your holidays, enjoy whatever celebrations you're having at any time of the year, but be responsible about that, and that means have a designated driver. That doesn't mean monitor how much you drink and then get behind the wheel. When I speak to parents and teens, I always talk about there is no amount of alcohol that does not impair your ability to make decisions and react when you need to. So having a designated driver, being aware of who you're getting in the car with. Don't ever get in the car with someone who has been drinking any amount. And be strong enough, if you see someone who has had too much to drink, to take the keys away. Whatever it takes to make that happen, be that person that saves the other people's lives.
Sharon, these are great messages. As your role as program specialist in the Tampa Bay area for Mothers Against Drinking and Driving, what other kinds of activities do you do and to let people know how we can change this?
I do a lot of parent workshops. The workshop is called The Power of Parents, and it just educates parents about how to communicate with their teens about alcohol. So that's a lot of underage drinking prevention that we're working on with that piece. We participate in a lot of local community festivals and events where we'll have a table with information out, and we talk to people about, the messages, how to work with alcoholism in families, how to prevent the drunk driving overall. We also have a walk for M.A.D. that we do. We do one in Pinellas County and then one in Tampa every year. So that's a big piece of our prevention and education.
And we're just about out of time. Want to remind everybody, Michael, you have a book signing coming up January 5th at the Book Swap.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you'll be out there in the afternoon?
And that's in Carrollwood.
In Carrollwood. And again, the book is called A Deal with God. If you'd like to pick up your copy of A Deal with God, visit Amazon.com. And to learn more about Mothers Against Drunk Driving, go to MAD.org. Nice to have you both.
Thank you very, very much.
Thanks for being here.